Hello and welcome back to my Hunter Killer playthrough of the Empty Woods. No wait, Empty Faces, the Woods. We are on to number 4. Alright, so number 4. See, I knew there was something in there that would roll out. If I remember correctly, I think this was supposed to be like a Whale of Dirt or something. Let's check our... There we go. The thingy, the list. Episode 4. Letter from Grace. Spell instructions, because of course, Whale of Dirt knew it. Iron Nail. God damn it, I keep losing that one. Scan diary pages, the Blue House Passage, Letter from Kayla, and Doctor's Memo. Caught on my shirt. Iron Nail. Fantastic. Fantastic. You go here, and I'll try my best not to lose you. So, as usual, let's start with Grace's letter that is made from a completely different type of paper. And still, dear stranger. These past months I have been reading Isabella's diary in the hopes that I will find some answers there. Before she was body without soul, I would never have dreamed of reading these pages without her consent. But then I thought there was no need to, for I believed no secrets dwelt between us. I see so much of the girl I love in her words, her tender hopefulness and trust, but it is plain there was a poison growing in her that I failed to see. I blame myself for missing it. Worse yet, I believe she sensed what was happening to her and didn't dare tell me. I blame myself for this as well. But I cannot persist in self-recrimination. I have spent my time in grief. Now is the time for action. I have consulted the bones and the blood, and the signs say now is the moment to proceed. What comes next will require great sacrifice. This course of action calls for the strongest of magic. Ancient maledictions, long forgotten rites. I have tried to shield you, stranger, from the crueler side of my ancestral practice, just as I tried to shield Isabella. But the time has come to draw upon its power. To defeat the darkness that encircles us, we must call on the darker side of our own natures, a dire kind of magic with fearsome consequences. I would not counsel this if there were any other way. Before we can set Isabella free, we must first sever this evil from its servant. Just as the darkness has expelled his spirit from his body, so too may we attempt to drive it out. I only hope that what remains of his spirit is strong enough to survive. I wish no harm upon him, for he is only a vessel of that wickedness and not its cause. But I cannot allow myself to pity him. Pity will not spare him from his fate, nor will it save my dear girl. I'll do whatever must be done, if it means Isabella is returned to me. I am prepared to do dread deeds in order to dispel the dark, but I will not ask you to betray your principles. I would understand if you withheld your aid. These are perilous measures, ones that even I hesitate to take. But if you will help, I have enclosed the details or ritual that will achieve my end. I cannot perform it alone. Only our wills combined can make it so. If you go forward, take care, for this magic is fierce and reckless, and is prone to carry unschooled practitioners alive. Thanks! I beg your assistance in one last respect. Like I said, she takes one pinky and you offer her a pinky, and she takes your whole goddamn arm. Another message has been left for me, and I ask you once again to read it on my behalf. I fear that what I dread most now is not the lightning that hangs upon it, but the news it may reveal. Yet I can see its author's dear regard for Isabella, and I know I must not turn away from the truth, no matter how it hurts. Bless Grace U. Montgomery. Okay. Well, let's check out the doctor's note. From the desk of Dr. Harold G. Oliver, MD, Cooper's Rock, double wee. Again, infantile joke, wee. I'm sorry to hear you won't be needing my services any longer. I respect your reasons for terminating my treatment of Isabella, though I strongly recommend that she continue to be treated by another physician. She is still very ill and deserves the best care she can get. As you know, this has been a difficult time for me, which I'm ashamed to admit has affected my performance at times. My wife keeps telling me it's high time I retire, and I'm starting to think she may be right. I hope you won't hold the past few months against me. I have always respected how hard you work to make a good life for your granddaughter, and I hope that you will continue to consider me your friend. Sincerely, Harold G. Oliver. With his signing. I'm ashamed to wife keeps telling. I'm starting to think she may be right. Terminating. Will devour. Great. And will devour. See another physician. I hope you won't all this all the past few months. Right, so I have a real hard time reading this, so to the side, thank you. Let's see, should we then need to decipher this? Alright, water will expel the evil from him and reveal its hidden form. Take care not to touch the solid water, for its stain will remain upon you. The color of the water will point the way to further revelations. If no jar is to be found, use any glass vessel, though a slight variation is required. Pour her here water water into a hole in earth, strip wax upon it, and cover with fresh soil. Okay, let's end with the ritual. Let's read Isabella's diary. That is yet again getting more and more dark with more crossing outs. There are, I mean, seriously, disembodied arms, crossing out of eyes. I mean, turning quite a bit more creepy, my dearest. Well, let's see. Here I am again, awake in the dark, hiding the light of the candle from Granny for fear seal. Pretty sure that is worry, but not here's worry. I can sleep. I feel so strange. Everything's moving too quick for me to sleep. I've been dreaming lately of Emil and her star-strewn sky. I wake up from that sky 2 or 3 times a night. I wake up from that sky. And stars on and on forever. I wake up with tears in my eyes, but they feel like someone else's sorrow. I feel so far away from who I used to be. I'm afraid I'm becoming something other than a girl. I want so badly to be lost away among those endless stars, but I'm so frightened of the dark. To avoid the void, Emil, phantom sun sinking slowly, approaching time of day. Emil looked over her shoulder, following Gwen's gaze to her. The sky was undulating like black water. It held beneath its surface all the life she could have lived, all there might have been moments lost. It illuminated her, crossed out, but she didn't feel sad or cold. She belonged here, where the sun never set and not there, where each day was more blinding than the next. She belonged in this something abyss. Her house shifted down, sinking into shadow, and a pale moon rose to take its place. It took up every corner of her vision, swallowing the black sky back into her, and she fell into its emptiness. I really wouldn't mind reading that story, though, to be fair. Page 2. Kyla's family is finally back from their trip, and she even brought me a present. I never want to take it off. She says it's no big deal, but it sets me free, makes me think of sunshine, and there hasn't been enough of that something recently. My days have been so lonely without her. Granny remarked the other day how peaceful things have been recently, but I can't stand the long, slow silences that stretch out there. I'm at home. Something crossed out. I can feel something crossed out better. Myself crying out against that stillness, though I can hardly believe that something dark and unquiet voice is mine. Today it feels like a fever. My head recently had heard spinning. It's getting worse. For a moment, feeling everything went dark around me. I tried to tell myself, just feeling a little light. Oh, she keeps crossing out light. Faint. But it wasn't just that the edges in my vision went dark. It was as if everything for miles around had fallen into darkness, and only I could see it. I'm almost afraid to tell Granny now, especially when things have been going so well. I don't want to lose everything I've gained in the past few months. Maybe it's small of me, but I don't want her to have been right. Maybe it will pass. Things were quieter while Kayla was on her trip, and I was stuck here. Discovering an exciting experience. Anywhere but here. Oh, sweetie. Maybe everything will slow down now that fall is almost here. It's a little... can't quite understand all of it. And then there's the blue house. The invisible current swept her through the dark and sent her twisting through trails of glimmering dust. Star fragments and meteor shards grazed her arms, stinging her skin. Then a voice pierced through the silence. "Mrs. Spell, come in here." The blue house faded into view, emerging from a deathless dark. She drifted closer, up to the top window, and stared into her own bedroom. A phantom sun cast orange light over the floor and across the walls. Time passed differently inside that room. While Emil had traversed 1,000 realms, Gwen was still sitting beside the bed, holding someone's hand too tightly. That someone lying in the bed had Emil's face, but it was too pale and sunken to be hers, too unfamiliar. The bedroom door swung open and her mother rushed inside. She knelt by the bed and took not Emil's face into her hands, stroking gentle thumbs across cold skin. Why did her mother care so much about this person? Emil wanted to feel the warmth of her mother's palms on her own cheeks. She wanted to be held too. Emil knocked twice on the glass, but there was no sound. Maybe it was for the best that they couldn't hear her. She didn't want to be that someone lying in bed. Even if she could get back somehow, there would be nothing for her but a hollow existence. She would spend every day stuck in that room, barely able to move or eat or speak as her body weakened. The medicines she took would continue to do nothing. Her mother had pulled away from the bed and was pacing, eyes red. Gwen, on the other hand, was incredibly still. Her gaze lifted away from not Emil and moved towards the window. She stared right past Emil, into the void Emil had created. Gwen's eyes reflected the phantom sun, sinking slowly, approaching dusk. It was almost that dreaded time of day. Emil looked over her shoulder, following Gwen's gaze. Behind her, the sky was undulating like black water. It held beneath its surface all the lives she could have lived, all the might have been moments lost. It illuminated her defeat, but she didn't feel sad or cold. She belonged here, where the sun never set, and not there, where each day was more blinding than next. She belonged in this dark abyss. Her house shifted down, sinking into shadow, and a pale moon rose to take its place. It took up every corner of her vision, swallowing the black sky, beckoning to her, and she fell into its emptiness. Again, I wouldn't mind reading this story. So on to Kayla's letter, which Gracie Dearest seems to be a bit scared of. And again, lovely flower birds. Alright, so, dear Miss Montgomery. Whew. I've deleted this letter so many times, I don't know how to tell you, or even if you want to hear it, since you didn't answer my last note. Maybe I don't deserve the chance to explain myself, but I think you deserve to know the truth. You were right to warn Isabella about me. We both thought you were being overprotective, that you just didn't know what the outside world was really like these days. But we were the ones who didn't understand. I'm sorry for everything. If I could take it all back, I would. I'd turn away from her and never say a word to her, if it meant she'd be all right. It would break my heart, but I would do it. Because it's my fault. I would never hurt Isabella on purpose, but I'm the reason this happened to her. I didn't mean to. I gave her the bracelet because I'd missed her, and because I wanted her to know how much she means to me. When she put it on, she took off the charm you made her, the one with the knotted twine. I didn't realize she'd left it behind, but then I found it when I was cleaning my bedroom the other day. It had fallen behind my nightstand. I don't think she even noticed it was gone. I realize now that's how the lightning found its way in. I think it must have been watching her long before that, waiting for an opportunity. But it always managed to keep her safe. And then I came along and put her in such terrible danger, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself, and I don't expect you to either. I wish there was something I could do to help her now, anything at all, even the smallest thing. Even though I don't deserve it, I have to ask. Can I come and see her, please? I need to see her one more time to tell her I'm sorry. Even if she can't hear me say it, I need to try. Sincerely, Kayla. Oh dear Lord. Oh, that breaks my heart. Alright, and then... There it goes. And then it's the instructions. Hex. Alright, I just wrote it on the paper, I'm not used to that, but heck me if I was gonna write all this down into this itty bitty notebook. No thank you. So, banishing hex. Place token in target's hand inside glass jar with lid. Pour water from cupped palms into jar 3 times. Seal jar and place outside for full cycle of the sun and moon. Then recite over graveyard earth. Come denizens of the dead earth, expel the poison and quell its power. Add earth to water. Seal lid on jar with strong nail inscribed name of target onto black candle. Drip wax onto the jar lid and recite, come denizens of the realm of flame. Seal the wickedness and keep it fast. Dig in ground and place within, then recite, come denizens of the living earth. Banish the evil and let it be no more. Cover jar with earth. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Kyla gave Isabella a gift that caused Isabella to take off the protective charm. The doctor is possessed by some darkness that is apparently rather old. Isabella is there but not really there, her soul is somewhere else. And her grandmother Grace as a complete stranger somewhere in the world to help her expel this darkness. Because technology is evil. Well, we got one more episode to go and get a conclusion. So, see you next time. Take care. Bless, bless.